see how it looks so far. The...
Welcome back to Book Smart Life Dumb. It is episode 23, and I'm recording on a wonderful and lovely July 26, 2026. Happy July 2626 to all those who celebrate. Oh, man. So I've been a bit everywhere with my schedule with this podcast lately. I mean, I've been recording sometimes on a Friday that I've been meaning to record on, and then other times a Saturday, other times a Sunday, and even as far as like getting them done Monday afternoon. But these are I want these to be out on a Monday morning. You know, I mean, this past week the full episode came out Tuesday as opposed to Monday, just because like I'm going to be honest, I don't want to call it writer's block because I don't really like write a script for these things. But what I feel like I do have is podcaster's block. Especially from my point of view, where this is like a weekly check-in, not just like on my life for the listener, but also just kind of like within myself, right? And so when I have these things that are stressing me out, when I have these large tasks ahead of me, especially one being moving, I don't know. I have like just like the stress blockers all around me to the point to where it's like I don't even know if like I should be doing as much as I do leading up until moving down south. And it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. But the textathon had wrapped up and we had crossed our goal and then some. And it blows me just so far away how we could pull that off and how thankful I am for the community that I have. But on top of that, it's just like now it's like settling in. Now I'm out of nose to the grindstone mode. I'm out of the like not like the woods, but like I'm just like out of the bury myself in a bunch of work so that I can't feel anything kind of phase, which I definitely feel like I've been guilty of in the past. I definitely have been guilty of someone who at a baseline level already has a hard time doing nothing with their hands and their mind, but that like increases exponentially when you start to factor in things about my life that are eating away at me, they are stressing me out, or they just are producing a bunch of anxiety. And it's like, I want to shut down. I want to stop everything that I'm doing and lose all motivation for all that which I want to do. But I like find an excuse for it because like I know I'll just feel too bad if I decide that I don't want to. But if I just give myself the excuse of, oh, I'm just too busy. Oh, I'm working all the time. Oh, I have this to do. And I'm basically consistently and constantly doing something from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, that even sleeping feels like it's like something I shouldn't be doing because I have so much on my plate. It starts to get stressful. It definitely starts to get stressful. And so I don't know, like the past couple of weeks, especially just leading up, like until we get to that day where like everything I own is in boxes and I'm putting it on a truck and I'm getting it down to Texas. I don't know like what to do with that. Like, I don't know how to get past that. And like, as the days get closer, I could feel that stress building and building and building. And I've never wanted to just be on the other side of a situation so badly before. I definitely have felt it to this scale, but like it's never a good feeling to be at this like level of it, you know? And I think the best thing I could do for myself is if I just start the process now. I have 5 weeks to pack up everything. So why not start now? It's not like I have really much going on between now and then. I have a weekend trip out to go see my girlfriend coming up here in like the second weekend, technically the second weekend of August. But that's like the only thing I've got going on. And I don't need to have like a readily available apartment to do that because I'm going to be going there. And so I might as well like spend like at least like an hour of my day, like every day, just being like, okay, I don't need this, this, and this. Let's grab a box. Let's grab some stuff to pack things into. Let's pack it, tape it, label it, put it off to the side. But then again, now it's like I need to I also need to pack as early as possible because I need to be able to see volumetrically how much stuff I have. Because if I rent like a 10-foot box truck from U-Haul, is everything going to fit in there? I mean, we're talking a couch, my bed, large pieces of furniture, my desk, living room things like stools, or not stools, but the stands, and a coffee table, and an entertainment center. I got to take my TV. My TV's got to go into a box. I have to figure out how to do that without like breaking the TV. Like all this other stuff, which thank God I saved that box. I remember when I got that TV, my mom was telling me that all right, cool, let's go throw out the box. I was like, no, that goes in the closet in the hallway because that has the box it came in, which is the perfect size and shape for it. It has the padding that came with it, also great. And I don't want to get rid of that stuff because you have any idea how much I'm going to be kicking myself when I one day have to move out of this apartment. And I don't know. I'm thankful that I kept it. I'm losing my mind that there are things that I did not keep. I'm losing my mind that I did not keep some stuff. Like, for instance, that tower fan I just have, I have the original box for it because it fits perfectly in the box and it has the styrofoam that holds it in place. And I can use that and like it's more, of a structurally sound box so that if I put something on top of it, it's not going to crumple and all this other stuff, dude. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And to think about like what moving here originally looked like. And now I'm like, okay, so all my stuff has to fit in here. I've also gained more things since I lived here because this was a much more barren and empty apartment when I first moved in here. So now what do I do? And also I don't have the luxury of being able to go back and forth from my mom's basement where I lived before here, back and forth, moving stuff out, then to a storage unit where I can move stuff in and out. And it's just this whole thing. I'm like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, would it just be easier for me to move my mattress, but then just get rid of my bed frame and then just get a new bed frame when I move down there? Is that something I'm going to care to move around? A mattress is easy. A mattress, you just slide it in and it could go down the side, up against the back wall. Hell, if you're crazy, you could even just put your mattress on top of all of your stuff. And so now I'm just like, what, how and where and when and why? And again, how did I end up in this situation with all these things? Even like looking around, like my lamps are probably like $8 a piece. Do I just keep the lamps or do I just give away these lamps to save myself the hassle of having to pack the lamps? I don't know. I don't know, dear listener. I hope that if you're listening to this, you're living in the house that you're going to live in until the day that you die, because I don't think anybody should ever have to deal with moving. I don't think they ever should. And like to think too, like the first house that I moved into, how many of those boxes did I just leave in the garage, never to be unpacked? There were so many of them. I think a big part of what this is going to be is a lot of purging of things, a lot of things that I'm going to pack because I intentionally want to keep them, and then things I want to put off to the side and drop off at Goodwill. There's definitely going to be clothes in there. There are clothes that have remained in boxes in here that I've never worn, that are from stages in my life that like I either could fit in that shirt or that shirt is way too big for me now. I'm like in like the medium. I'm in the middle phase of like where like clothes have fit me over the years. I only have a few large t-shirts from like what I call like Fat Adam stages of life that I'll wear just because I get to wear them around the house. And it's a big t-shirt and it's whatever. But a lot of stuff that it was just too bold. It was entirely too bold of me to assume that I would ever wear those clothes like that for the rest of my life. Because when I was diagnosed, I went to the hospital, I had lost like 100 pounds like really rapidly. And so when I had left the hospital after being diagnosed with diabetes, I was a 6'3" stick figure weighing at 175 pounds. I think it was like 165 when I left the hospital. And then I got to 175 and I stayed there. And then I was like, ooh, if I really wanted to be bold, I could fit in a medium t-shirt. If you are above 6 feet in height as a dude, just don't ever buy a medium t-shirt, man. Just don't. I'm wearing a large t-shirt right now and it's an older shirt, but man, I have no business wearing this shirt. It's just soft. It's just a soft shirt, so why not? I mean, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. So when I moved from Florida, I got a storage container and it was delivered into the driveway of the house I was living in. I was renting out a bedroom. I had 2 other roommates. Sometimes I had 3, but it was usually just 2 other roommates. I had rented a room. I was renting a room in Florida when I lived in Orlando. So I only had a bedroom's worth of stuff. And like the only other thing I had outside of that was, you know, dishes, kitchen appliance, and kitchenware. And then like a desk that I had out in the common area just to like keep stuff on. Just to kind of help fill the void, because it was 3 dudes living in a 4-bedroom house together. And so all of my stuff fit in this storage container somehow. It wasn't a big one. It was a little one. It was like it was almost like a perfect square. And so with that, like everything got shipped, and I would just load like a few other like much more important, like non-shippable items. I put those in my car, and I made the drive myself from Florida up to Ohio. I did the drive over 2 days. And this time I'm going to be driving a U-Haul down. I'm probably going to stop at some point in between to rest. It's a 20-hour drive, the trek I would be making. And now I'm like, okay, cool. All the stuff goes into U-Haul. Big U-Haul. It's probably going to be packed to the brim. I just bring it down, unload my stuff, call it a day. Sick. I have a car. I gotta do 2 trips? Because I'm terrified. I'm terrified of pulling that car behind me in a trailer. Or on a... Yeah, I guess that's a trailer. I'm tired. Not tired. I'm terrified. I'm scared of that. Because I've never driven anything like that. I've never driven anything bigger than a U-Haul. So then to have the U-Haul and then add more to the U-Haul, I'm shaking in my boots. And that is not a straight line drive down. Especially because, like, what? I don't know. It's just a day. Dude, I don't know. I would almost rather leave my car here and get a one-way ticket and get my car and then drive it from Ohio down to Texas. I would much rather do that. Maybe I could... Ooh. I'm having a bright idea. And she's going to listen to this tomorrow at some point. Either tomorrow or Tuesday. Mina's going to listen to this. And is going to tell me absolutely the hell not. Okay, but what if I made a road trip out of it? What if I got all my stuff down there? I lived without... Well, I can't live without a car. Because I need to be able to drive to work. Huh. This is so much easier if I was just a full-time content creator. This would be so much easier if I lived a life that didn't require me to leave my house. Damn. Although, what I could do is... Because here's the baseline idea. Here's the idea I had. U-Haul, bring it down. Unload my stuff, drop off U-Haul. Stuff is in Texas. Adam is now a Texan. Confetti. All that stuff. The matter of the car. I go back up. I take a one-way ticket to the OH, to the Ohio. What if I made a road trip out of it? What if, for one of our visits, one of our magnificent date weekends that we do, what if I turned that into a road trip? I think she would hate it. I think she would hate it for several reasons. I think she would hate it because, one, she would have to be stuck in a car. 2, well, she might enjoy being stuck in a car with me. Maybe. I don't know. That's a lot of time being exposed to all of this personality of mine. Especially one that's just staring at the empty, barren wasteland portions of the United States. The road trips are a lot of staring at nothing for a while. And then there's something, and then you drive a little more, and then there's nothing again. And there's a lot more nothing than there is something. The United States is a giant country. And it is not all hustle and bustle big cities and neighborhoods and small towns. It is big cities surrounded by neighborhoods and small towns, surrounded by nothing. I'm not even like in Ohio. Like I am near like Cleveland, which is like it's a pretty like as far as like major cities in the United States go, like it's up there. Like people know that Cleveland is a thing. It's not like a major like a large city like Davenport, Iowa, which is a very built out city. It's very big. I've been there. I'm surprised I never heard of it up until I went there. Even then, even it being 15, 20 minutes from Cleveland for me, I am now in the outer layer where it is becoming small towns and residential areas. I am not very far from open air, fuck all, nothingness, Ohio. I'm 30 minutes from that. So less than an hour from Cleveland, it is farmland. It is absolute farmland as far as the eye can see. You could see that in driving in any direction, to be honest with you. I've had that as far as like going east, going west, going south. Actually, damn, I've done all directions. I have done all directions. Can't go north because there's a big lake. Lake Erie right there. I can't drive through Lake Erie. I don't have a James Bond car. If I had a James Bond car, the insurance on that would be insane. Insurance on that would be awful. I'm telling you. I don't know. A little bit of housekeeping for my Booksmart Life Domains. I'm back on schedule. Friday the 31st is when Patreon listeners are going to get their not free. They pay for this. They're going to get their unedited, big ol' yippity yappity early episode. They'll be getting episode 24 on Friday the 31st. On the 1st is when I will sit down and I will record the Q&A for collaboratively the entirety of July and June. So if you have questions and you are signed up on the Patreon, I believe at any tier, but namely the $5 tier, you can submit questions on there, and then it will be a public episode that will go up on the 1st. It'll be unedited and it will just go right up on Spotify, YouTube, and the Patreon feed as well. So yeah, that's a bit of the housekeeping. That's the only housekeeping I've got. Only housekeeping I got, other than an apology for just how all over the place and unscheduled I have been. It's been just such a. It's just difficult. It's difficult to have organized thoughts right now for me. It's a difficult time. So it's easy for me to just go through the motions and just follow suit. You know, I don't know. This past week was San Diego Comic-Con, and as always, we got big Marvel stuff always being talked about and announced. You know, the great big Hall H, what's the word I'm looking for? Announcements and panels. Panels is the word I was looking for. And the hot button thing right now is that we finally got an Avengers Doomsday trailer. I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for that. And so they had their big, I think it was an hour-long panel, which means there was so much stuff to cram in there. I'm not really going to talk about too much of it, though, because I think I'm more wrapped up in the excitement about it. I think I finally have, like, Marvel fever again. I don't think I'll ever be as pumped as I was in that year between Avengers Infinity War coming out and walking out at theater and feeling the way I did, and then waiting for Avengers Endgame to come out. I think that's going to be the peak for me. But in my ever so growing list of movies and TV shows to sit down and watch with Mina, and then also just getting back into wanting to go to the movies again as much as I used to, and just finding reasons to get out and go do that, and to like participate in pop culture again. I've got the bug, man. Speaking of bugs, the day that I record episode 24 will be the day that Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out. If anybody knows me in my personal life, you know that Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. One of my favorite, just kind of like baseline umbrella kind of like stories to be told is like as like this working class hero, this like fight against what you're like supposed to do and what like the power bestowed upon you, where that places you in the universe versus what you want. It's such a fun story, and it's always so like good. I've loved the Spider-Man ever since I saw those Tobey Maguire films when I was younger. I loved the Andrew Garfield films when those came out, and the Tom Holland ones. I've grown to like them. I don't think I was a big fan when they came out, but I still liked them. I still love the character. You know, those Marvel Spider-Man video games on the PlayStation. Whew. I'm talking about amazing storytelling, especially that first one. It genuinely catches me off guard at the end of every time I play that game, where it's just like the emotional buildup and just, I don't know, man. It's just so good. But Doomsday is coming. It'll be here at the end of the year. I think it's December. I want to say it's December. I'll have to fact check myself on that. Actually, I think if I were to go to the Marvel YouTube channel, I believe they have a big old countdown somewhere on there. Or there's a count. Is it on the YouTube channel or is it on the website? It's probably on the website. I don't know why I thought it would be on the YouTube channel. But if I go to marvel.com, lots of talking about SDCC. What the fuck? I know that there is a countdown somewhere. I've heard about this countdown. But where's the dang old thing, man? Where's the big old dang old thing? I'm talking about my Avengers Doomsday Countdown. I don't know. I just want to find a thing. It's on neither. It's on AvengersCountdown.com. It'd be great is if the countdown told me what day it is. December 18th. It's gonna be December 18th. All of that. Avengers not even Doomsday Countdown. It's just AvengersCountdown.com. With 4 months, 20 days, 21 hours, and 58 minutes and 1 second. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. The trailer has me more excited for it than anything. I think it's all because the trailer actually like let me buy into the idea of it, because it's all this talking and it's all this casting announcements and there's all these movies that are coming out. The TV shows are coming out before it. And like, I'm not sold on the TV shows. Some of the movies don't have me as amped as I wanted them to be. Like I was talking about it at a show where I liked the Fantastic Four movie that they put out. I want to say 2 years ago, some time ago. I liked it because it was a fun movie, but I didn't get to buy into the concept of the Fantastic Four in the MCU and this whole cinematic universe and all these movies tying in with each other. But I liked it because it was just a fun movie. It was like an origin story, but in like non-traditional format. It was an origin story while being more of an origin on who these characters are and why they belong where they belong, not what happened and why they're here, which seems to always be the case with a origin story film. But now it's like, it feels redundant. It feels like the origin story as a vibe is just kind of played out at this point. I'm kind of over it because like they all kind of have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know why, but what came to mind was like, they all have the same like je ne sais quoi. But it's not that. It's like they all have the same like tone. They all have the same presence about them. It's like it's an origin story where, you know, you spend like a half hour with this character and they're a regular, everyday, average Joe. He or she goes to work every day or goes to school. They have like their 2 cool friends. They have like a bully or their boss that sucks. And then they are thrown into a radioactive barrel off of a truck that crashed carrying radioactive barrels, electric eels, radioactive spiders, and cosmic powers, all in like plastic bags. And they hit this person and then they wake up and they're like sick. And then everyone's like, oh, you were in bed. You were sleeping for like 3 days. And the protagonist is like, what? And then they like look at the mirror and they're like, whoa, I have 0 body fat now. And then they're on a rooftop or in an alleyway like 20 minutes later and they're like making hand signals or they're doing catchphrases or they're just like kicking the shit out of like a garbage can. And then there's like some loosely related evil guy that's just like across town and he works in like a giant building with like 5 other dudes and they're like, yes, if you see that we've done our tests and the jetpacks are actually gonna be able to carry a payload similar to that of a miniature nuclear bomb. And then the guy's like, oh my god, what if I had all the power in the world? And then he flies around, he's blowing shit up, he's and then the person that got hit by the radioactive electric eels with the barrels of nuclear waste, they're like, I have a duty and I have a purpose. And then now they're like flying through the air, they're shooting spider webs, they're invisible, they have super strength and laser eyes. And then they defeat the person, and they find out the person is like their aunt's brother's sister's grandchild's girlfriend's twice removed father. And everything, the character's mind is blown. And they don't even they never reserve that to blow the audience's mind. The audience always sees it coming from literally the first 15 minutes of the film, where like I could pick it up and I'll be like, oh, that's Michael Keaton. He's the bad guy. And like, it's supposed to impact us like an hour and 15 minutes later in the film, when like somebody's mask comes off and they're like, Deborah, it was you. And like all this other stuff. Dude, it's the same movie. It's the same movie with a different actor, with a different set of superpowers, with a different costume and a different villain. And I'm just so flippin' stoked that the Fantastic Four movie was not that. It was so much better. It was so much better because they're like, there are these 4 astronauts. They go up into space and now they have crazy cool powers because they were hit by cosmic radiation. One of them's a giant rock man. And then that's literally the whole origin story. Like, fast forward 5 years later, they're freaking celebrities with action figures and a TV show, and one of them's on a cereal box. And now the entire world's going to get eaten by a big man. And then that's the movie. We get these like individualized moments with all the characters that show how they fit in with the world around them, how they feel about who they've become over the past couple of years, and where that leaves them, and ultimately how they are going to rise up to the occasion. And that is so much freaking better. I don't need to see them go up to space to go get turned into superheroes for the fucking 3rd time. I don't need to see Peter Parker get bitten by the spider. I don't need to see Daredevil get smoked by a truck with a bunch of blind people goo. You know, I don't need to see it, man, because I've seen those movies 100 times over. And if I swear to God, if they do it with Ghost Rider, if they do it to Ryan Gosling, I might have to forgive them, because when's the last time we saw a Ghost Rider thing? The last time we saw Ghost Rider was in a Nicolas Cage film. When were those movies coming out? Hang on. Just a quick Google here, and those came out. The first one was in 2007. Now, if Sam Elliott came back to just be like the background voice, the guiding light guy, I don't remember, man. I was 12? I was 12 in 2007 when that came out. I think if Sam Elliott was in it, that'd be kind of cool. Apparently, they wanted to get Nicolas Cage to do it again, but he was like, hell no, I don't want to. I'm Nick Cage and I don't want to do things. I'm a detective spider now. And all of that good jazz. But all things aside, if the excitement and the rapid just like acceleration in my voice didn't tell you already, I am stoked to be on the Marvel train once again. I'm on it. I got a freaking business class seat on this train rolling. And we are probably going to start a Marvel rewatch at some point here, and it's going to be super fun. I'll probably I need to parse out what movies you don't have to watch. Like the first 2 Thor movies. I don't think you need to watch those to enjoy it. But that has been your episode. That has been Booksmart. That has been Life Dumb. That has been the 23rd one. And I'll see you all later. I hope you had such a fantastic week and weekend. I hope you have an amazing week ahead of you. And if not, let's try and turn that frown upside down, and let's carry that energy forward and have a great freaking week. Bye-bye.